we go.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. People like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and not be.
Heck yeah. We're gonna go ahead and let that kind of filter in. How are we looking on our end? Alright. Good afternoon, fellow Misfits. So, for those of y'all who saw it, for those of y'all who are gonna go back, that nice little burn and fire, all that awesomeness intro we got is brought to you by Mad Chazzler. He's been, this is probably it's a partial kept secret of ours, but it's something we typically drop hints on every now and then. But obviously he's pretty good with his editing in terms of pictures. He's also got a bit of video editing in his background, just from tinkering and all that fun stuff that typically goes along with engineering. So props to him. If you like the intro, go ahead and find him. Let him know. Whether you saw it live, whether you saw it after, give him a shout out. I'm going to start brewing some coffee while things get warmed up here. So as always, welcome to the Misfit Monday Debrief. I am your host, Big Bad Jon, and also hosting today we got Mad Chazzler in the background. Woo! Giving a nice little wave even though y'all can't see it. So we're here bringing it to you. We've got yet another one of the Misfits in on it. And more Misfits, but still the same question. We want to know how y'all are doing. We want to know how, especially how your Thanksgiving was. As we talked a bit about last week, we know it can sometimes be a little hairy. Sometimes they're absolutely wonderful. Other times people are a little on edge because you're seeing some family maybe you haven't seen in a while. But, I mean, truly, we pray that it was a good one for you. We pray that the extra relaxation was something that helped y'all out a little bit. We pray that for, the swarm of you, thank you, that came in and got coffee the day before and even the day after for other events going on through the weekend. We really hope that brought y'all just as much of a smile as it continues to bring us. We know for us going and traveling to see our families, it's just wonderful. Just as something as simple as bringing a cup of coffee to your family and saying, hey, I made this. Go ahead and give it a try. And just seeing them enjoy it. We hope that y'all got the same kind of joy just being able to, as we keep saying, sit around a cup of coffee that you love, that you don't have to doctor like crazy to make it taste good, and just discuss life. So whether you're dropping comments here or you plan to stop on in, just let us know how it went. If you got anything you just need to talk about, if you got any prayers, any prayer requests for anything that's gone on, go ahead and throw them our way. First and foremost, that's what we look to take here. But we've gone a bit enough in now, so with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the debrief. Left y'all little hints in the description for this one. You'll see a little frustration on my face as we're going to discuss yet another brew method that I'm not a big fan of. And we'll let you see what that is if you stick in with us. But first and foremost, want to jump to the debrief of the Misfits. Yes, we definitely, as he said, as Matt Chazzler said, that we prefer you stopping. Hi, friend, Amelia, how you doing? Good to see you jumping in. You too. Have a wonderful day. Man, whether you're just getting to see a second of it or you're getting to watch a little bit, enjoy the goofy banter, just as it always is. First, starting out with the Misfit businesses. So we've talked them up a little bit the last couple weeks. Faith Off the Grid, the tattoo studio out in New Bern, and Waterfowl Outfitters in Friendship. They are officially up and rolling. They've picked up their product for the tattoo shop. You'll see that they've got all of our products, bags and cartridges, the half bags, the full bags, the 4 count, the 12 count. Those are all ready to go on the shelves, and they're primed and ready for y'all to come get them. As far as for their brewing, that will be coming up shortly. They're just finishing commissioning their setup out there, which looks to be pretty phenomenal, and may even be taking espresso. So I know y'all have gotten a bit of the taste of our espresso from the cartridges here, but if you're looking to get even more of an experience from it, again, you're gonna find the same whether it's cartridge or not. So you can go out and get it there and just enjoy what they got, along with the atmosphere and all. And then Waterfowl Outfitters, they order a slew of coffee. So any of y'all that are looking to do your hunting with them, we know duck hunting season's open and it's running. Any of y'all looking to do that, Friendship's just down the road. Even if it's a little bit of a trek, they're looking to supply it for all y'all. They picked up a ton of cartridges. They picked up 4 canisters full of coffee. just to get them started, like 14 pounds. So y'all go out there, drink it up, let us know. From everything we know, they really are one of the premier hunting facilities out here. So go give them a shout. Wonderful folks, wonderful people to deal with, and we think that you will enjoy it, especially as you're using that Second Amendment right that you've got to provide yourself with some food and some fun. Going to products now. So we can't stop talking about them. I know you're probably tired of it at this point. Let you see my notebook there. We've got our custom engraved cups. So y'all have been seeing the 8-ounce camp mugs that we've got. We've only got about 3 of these left. So if you're looking for them, make sure that you come grab them now. Despite the compact size, they're the perfect thing, especially if you're out camping or if you just like to take, like I was saying, a shot of espresso out with you. It's just a little bit more manageable, and it keeps it just as hot as the tall ones, which we've got a few of these in stock. It's still a limited run, and depending on if y'all keep swarming at them the way you already are, then yeah, we'll be stocking more. But that's something we like to leave up in the air because, again, we are a business of by and for you, the people. And so if you want it, we're going to keep stocking it. If you don't show much interest in it, we'll let the folks use it who want to use it, and we'll keep going until we find the thing that you do want. What's up, strategist? There he is, dropping in the chat. Fantastic. He was, I will say, he was actually the first one, Phil, out there. First one to get a mug even before we did. As soon as they came in, he had pre-ordered it, came back, ran, grabbed it, and hauled it out of there. So he can tell you just how good it is. But again, this is stuff we carry for you, the people. We're not just looking to stock the shelves with stuff. We really want to make sure that everybody loves sporting a brand that they appreciate, but it's better when it's stuff that you want to carry that's sporting a brand that you appreciate. So along with that, for our products, with each of those, we will be including free cartridges with them. So we got to talking about it and tested it this morning. You can fit 1 espresso cartridge in the 8-ounce camp mug here, and you can fit 3 full cartridges inside of here, inside of the 12-ounce cup. So if you come get them while we've got them in, all throughout this month, you'll get yourself some free coffee too. And maybe we'll even be nice enough to let you use our Keurig to brew it. So however you want to do it, you come on in and get it. Money, 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 money. So... Sorry, this is wonderful. I'm just watching Mad Chazzler throw me signs and signals in the background, which gives me something better to stare at than just a camera lens. So
not much though.
Hey, anything's something, right?
Slightly more.
So moving on from that, gift baskets. A lot of y'all have been asking. We've hinted to it a little bit. We've talked about it. But this Friday is the 1st of December. It's also For the People Friday. We'll be announcing all of our special gift baskets and deals. I know Princess Magpul's got a whole design worked up for the baskets. Mashhauser's been going after some nice firearms naming schemed deals that I think y'all are really going to love. So be on the lookout for those coming Friday. We'll have a nice release for you there. Maybe we'll do a video, maybe we won't. If y'all really want to see our faces again, then sure, we'll go ahead and drop it out there. But that's what you got to look out for products. For events, again, it's still the same lineup, but seeing as it's here today out in Trenton, if you're going to head out, if you know of Scott's Pizza and Kitchen, they just serve true Chicago-style food, whether it be deep dish pizza, Vienna meats. They've got it all out there, and they're going to be having their tree lighting ceremony out there, which means they've decided they're going to be giving away free Misfit coffee. We'll be there to support, obviously. So we know we've got the parade here in Dyersburg. We wanted to be able to get out and support them as well. As you know, again, as we're trying to support small business, we want to be out there and give them a little bit of support. And we'll be seeing y'all Saturday, because December 2nd. Oh, back up real quick. Event in Trenton starts at 6. We'll probably be there a little bit earlier, and we'll be there a little bit into the evening. So just come on out, say a nice hello if you're out in that area. I know a lot of you Milan folks were buying steady, and you still are. But now you can come see us in person. December 2nd, we've got a triple hit set up. So from 9 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon, we'll be out at the Jingle Jam out in Troy for the Obion County Band Booster Club. From 12 to 3, we'll be back here in Dyersburg. And yeah, we've got enough of us, so you'll see us in 2 places at once. Set up at noon down at the Holiday Mart, down at the Farmers Market, as you know, our OG stomping grounds. And then from 3 to 6, we'll be shifted over a couple blocks at the Mill Workspace downtown as well for the Taste of Dyer County, where we'll have more coffee for you to taste. So that's the events we've got coming up. We also have them coming up on December 9th at that tattoo shop in New Bern. We'll be set up for their Christmas tree lighting ceremony, which, man, I gotta tell you, it's fun just having all the events going on. Just being able to get out and see y'all again. It's the thing we love most of the farmers markets is the interactions and the discussions. When y'all come in, same thing. So when we get to come on out to an event and just, see y'all in that element, it's a lot of fun. So please, even if you're not planning to buy coffee, that's fine. Come out, say hello. If we haven't seen you in a while, just let us know you're doing well. And as always, as we're about to jump into some discussion, you got any comments, got any questions, you just feel like heckling, go ahead and drop it in the comments. It's funny while we read it now, and it's funny while we read it later. We do want to throw y'all a Misfit challenge. So we're going to keep the brand quiet, but while Matt Chazzler was out on the road going to see his folks, he happened to stumble across a coffee shop that, as we've talked about, there are coffee shops that price their coffee higher. And how much higher, you ask? $35 a bag. Now, we happened to get it on sale for a whopping $30 a bag. I know, major discounts, the greatest. But we want y'all to be able to see the difference. So if you want to come on in anytime through this week, really, as long as we've got the bag. They gave us a bag of, they did not. We bought a bag of whole bean from them. And so if you want to come and see the difference between their coffee and ours, that's on us. We'll give it right to you. We'll brew it up for you. We're going to do the old Keurig showdown that we've started, and we'll brew up a Keurig of theirs and a Keurig of ours. And if you like theirs better, our cup is free. We're pretty confident. We may or may not have taste tested already, and we may or may not be pretty confident in what we've got. So you can pick the origin, you can pick whatever. Go ahead and try it. I'll let you decide, but come on in and give it a go. So again, all week, come try a $35 bag of coffee on us. For today's discussion, so one of the, I had to eat my words with the Keurig as far as being a machine that I would never use and never wanted to go near. I was proven dead wrong on that, and I'll admit I've even partially proven myself wrong on this method, but I still don't like it, so I'm going to keep smack talking it anyway. How many of y'all know what this is? I'm sure somebody has seen it before. Granted, this is a kind of cheapo Walmart camping style version of it. Matt Chaz, I know, dropping in the comments of what it is since you already know, and you can see it. And he got to listen to me talking about it. Excellent. We've got a percolator here. So, these go way back. I know for those right around our ages, this is something that was pretty much a staple in the home. For those of y'all just a little older than us, you were the ones buying it, making it a staple in the home, especially when it became electric. Percolators for coffee had been it was back in the, 1889 was the first time one of these suckers was made. And before they came out, it was this big push to get away from what we now know as cowboy coffee. Throw a pot on the stove, kick it to a boil, just throw some grounds in there, and when you're done, scoop out your coffee. This was the way the attempt to get away from that, for the reason being of people not liking to have to scoop their coffee out and get past grounds, which I can understand. When we get grounds come out of a Keurig or a French press, if they happen to sneak by, that gets frustrating. Cowboy coffee, while I'm sure it's got its own taste, it probably isn't nearly as fun. Or fun in terms of actually enjoying it. And that would be because of all the same properties we see in this semi-beautiful piece of machinery, just a little bit better. So I'll talk about the downsides after... I'll talk about reading the comments. I'll talk about the downsides after I explain it a little bit. So inside of every percolator, whether you're talking about electric or manual like this one, you have some kind of basket stem set up here. The way these work is you put your water in them, you heat up the water on the stove. In the meantime, I've got some preferences on what the timing of all this, but basically I have boiling water in here. This stem is hollow through the middle, so you drop this in with the water once it's boiling. As it evaporates up the tube, it is able to come down to a low enough temperature as it's going through all of its transition that it turns back to, full-on water, seeps through the top here, hits the coffee grounds in the basket, and drips back out the bottom into the pot. And I know someone's asking, hey, what happens after it makes one, full run through the stem and back down? I'm glad you asked, because I'm about to tell you. It recirculates again, and again, and again, and again. And if anyone has ever left a pot of coffee sitting on a heating plate, you know what's about to happen. Because the more you let that coffee sit and reintroduce that water, then water with some coffee hint, then coffee water, then coffee, back onto the grounds that have already been soaked and saturated, you're just continuing to pull out flavor and flavor until you get bitterness, until you get harshness. So the main reason I don't like these, there's really 2 or 3 top reasons. Number one, it's hard to control how much of the flavor you're pulling out, and it's really easy to make a very bitter cup. Second issue, how do you tell how far along your brewing is outside of time? That little not at all easily seen through partial translucent cap that they call a peak filter. You're supposed to look through there and gauge the color as it's kind of moving around. Now, I've done this a couple times. I've done it quite a few times terribly, and I've finally gotten it to come out really well with a lot of just standing there over a stove, watching it, and just trying to equate in my mind. This will go back to a previous video we did, and some stuff we'll be posting later about darkness level of coffee. Because if you notice, Misfit coffee is a lot lighter in color than most other coffees. So if you were to use a percolator and go by the same color gaze of what you think it looks like, it's going to be bitter. There's just so many inaccuracies with it. On top of the fact that this thing is just a pain in the butt to clean. It's still dripping water. It's fresh water, I promise. But there's still just a bunch of grounds and stuff that
it's not.
It's not. Thanks, man, Chazzler. Thanks for that one. It's not fresh water. So it's just, it's really not. I'm not a big fan. It's just very inaccurate, and for the engineering side of me, if it's not repeatable, it's not worthwhile. And so it's never something that I'm going to full on recommend. That being said, Community Cafe in Jackson does our coffee through a percolator. We dialed in their grind size, and they got it because they got it pretty good. But that's the other issue, is finding the right grind size, because it's really going to depend on how long your coffee's degassed, a lot of factors that you don't know that's going to determine how long it actually takes to get that optimal flavor. So not my favorite brew method, but we have to jump in time a little bit ahead from 1889, because if we're going to talk about a percolator, the other thing we have to talk about is this funky looking one, which this is a little different from your traditional, but they're called a mocha pot. They're actually named, so they're invented by a guy in Italy. I have to read his name, even though I'm Italian. Alfonso Bialetti is his name, and I'm sure I butchered that. Someone come after me.
No, you didn't have the hands going off it.
You're right. Alfonso Bialetti. There we go. That sounded better, didn't it? So he was actually the metal worker who made it, but Luigi De Ponti is the guy who actually came up with the concept of what we call a mocha pot. Mocha, Yemen is the place one place renowned for their coffee. We've looked at Yemen coffees and they're pretty expensive. And that's where the mocha pot came. Now these run very similar to what we just discussed. You've got your same kind of basket, you put your grounds in, only this is meant for espresso. So I will say, as much as I don't like percolators, it did give us this just as inaccurate piece of machinery that gives you something else. Faux espresso, as they call it. You get a lot less water in the base here. You've got a top with a similar stem setup. Functionality is basically the same. Water evaporates, except for this one, it ends up hitting through the grounds first in a pressurized system, then up and down, and then filling up in this chamber. So a little different. Y'all crack me up. So it's a little different, but you basically have a batch wafer coffee and a cheaper alternative for making espresso. Now, these things are kind of cool. I will say our Keurig espresso cartridges kind of ruin the need for one of these, because a lot more time to operate versus a Keurig, which is a lot cheaper, a lot quicker to operate and cheaper in the long run when you talk about your time. But the reason I'm talking about these today is because we've actually had an uptick in clients asking for them. It's still a preferred method for some people. And we do understand that. I mean, you figure you just set a pot on the stove, percolators, there's not much, you don't really throttle the temperature. If you have an electric one, it does it for you. And so that makes it real easy to just dump grounds in. You don't have to buy filters because it's got the stainless steel filter basket, and you just let it do its thing. And then when it's done, it keeps it warm. And then at that point, you're not really having any other issues than you wouldn't have from a drip pot, other than that inconsistent flavor extraction. Because I promise you that there's no miniature sommelier inside of an electric percolator telling you, hey, coffee's ready. So you're going to get something bitter, or just that boiling temperature just ends up kind of charring your grounds, and it just kind of ruins the overall taste. So I just not a big fan. But that being said, if you do like the percolator, or if you just need it for, I don't know, if you're camping, power's out, you need a way to brew, I still prefer French press, but if you want a mass batch and you haven't picked up one of our, 1,000,000-ounce, base camp presses, thank you for that. See, man, this is wonderful. Everything I forget. If you haven't picked up one of these and you can't just make French press coffee while camping, thank you, man, Chazzler, then you can just get yourself a percolator and run it that way. That being said, bringing it up, I'm going to give one or two pieces of advice. If you're going to use a percolator, if you want to get it to taste right, because it can be done. I did it the other day successfully. I would recommend, we've got our percolator grind, which you're going to fall, it's not nearly as coarse as a French press, but it's still coarser than a drip pot grind. You're going to want to let it sit anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes. For me, naturally, that means I'm sitting it for about 7. With the number of perfection. I do like to go a little longer, but that's also because I like a little bit bolder of a cup. But we went ahead and tested this with our Ethiopian, knowing that the lighter roasts are going to be the hardest to pull all the flavor out of. And we actually got it pretty good, sitting at about 8.5 minutes-ish. So if you want it for that, my first recommendation, let us grind it for you. We don't charge anything for it, and it'll save that headache for you. Rule number 2, if you've learned anything about looking up coffee ratios, they're kind of all over the map. I believe we went with 55 grams of coffee to 1,000 milliliters of water. Your milliliters and grams are going to weigh the same on a scale. They're going to throw ratios out online. Someone's going to tell you, go a lot. The other person's going to say, go less. That's just me talking as in what I know to taste good. So if you're looking to use a percolator, we've got you covered. 55 grams of coffee, 1,000 milliliters of water. Throw it in there, let it run. I don't start my timer till the water's boiling because nothing's happening. I also don't put the stem in until the water's boiling because nothing's happening except introducing steam to the grounds. Can't say it enough. I really despise these things, and if it wouldn't damage anything in the shop, I would just do one of those, throw it behind me. But that's probably a bad idea, and Princess Magpul will probably fire me again. So we're going to refrain from chucking it. I'm gently placing it on the floor. And there we go. So that's kind of my discussion on percolators. Just to let y'all know that I don't like them. I despise them. But, as we keep saying over and over again, this is coffee of the people, by the people, for the people. No, Phil, I'm not doing it. Some dice rolls. Alright, stepping out of talk real quick for a second. We've all been playing a lot of D&D, and so everything we've done lately has been in reference to dice rolls. And I'm just going to tell you, if we base this live based on my pattern of rolling, there probably wouldn't be a live. Or Matt Chazzler would have to do it because I couldn't do it. So, that being said, if you got any questions about it, because again, of buying for the people, if you like to use a percolator, that's great. Let's just make sure we get you set up so you've got the right ratio, you understand how best to run it, how best not to run it, and we'll help you stay set with it. Leave something in the comments if one of your Thanksgiving dinners had one too, because I'm sure someone had a percolator running. I'm sure it was an electric one. And if you work any kind of industrial setting, you probably had an Avantco one because they seem to be everywhere. But that being said, can't recommend the French press enough. Our folks over at Planetary Design, wonderful partners of ours. Every time we've asked for something, if we need to sample something, if we've got an idea, a concept, they've been right there to jump in and help us. There has not been one negative experience with them. So you need something, they warranty all the parts right through us. So if you have a cap that breaks, if something goes wrong, if the stem on your French press stops, if it somehow gets bent or the mesh gets worn out, just let us know. We can get in touch with them. William out there is a wonderful gentleman, and he'd be more than happy to help us get y'all taken care of. That being said, though, I got all the Planetary Design merch that y'all see, all the products. Come in and get them while they last, because we don't want to see y'all miss them. Take a quick back look at the comments. Big French press is times bigger than a percolator. Yes, it is. See, look at that. It's not even close. Which would you rather be seen out with? Because I tend to rate things by bludgeoning ability. That's gonna fall apart. This is not. So if you need to defend yourself, you got something better there. But let's peek back quick at the comments before I let y'all go. Even though I know y'all would love to stay and listen to us talk all day long. Y'all crack me up, man. We absolutely love just the banter that is going on in the chats while we've got the video going. So thank y'all for that. It's just more of what makes the Misfit community a Misfit community. You've got ways to joke around. We've got outlets to talk about everything serious. We've even got some in the future that we'll be announcing soon. Other ways that you can be keeping in touch with us in the community. So keep an eye out for that. And then again, we've talked about the businesses that we've got, so make sure you get out to New Bern. Make sure you go do your hunting and friendship with Waterfowl Outfitters. Try our coffee there. Let it make the experience better. You've seen the products we've got. Keep an eye out for the deals and the gift baskets coming up this Friday. Y'all gonna be excited about that. And we are once again we're happy to be able to provide deals so that you're not paying $35 for a bag of coffee. And if you want to, again, know what that tastes like, come on in this month and try it out, and then come see us at our events. We would love to sit and talk with you. But with all that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you all again for just coming and chilling with us each morning and each Monday morning, letting us talk through these funny things, talk through serious things. You'll be seeing Matt Chazzler himself on here soon. So, yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Well, there you go. He did know that, obviously. But y'all have been for a treat with that. So keep an eye out for when we'll be posting that he'll be jumping on here. And who knows, maybe if enough of y'all request it, we'll even get Princess Magpul in here at some point. Don't give me that look. But with all that, I'm Big Bad Jon. Got Matt Chazzler doing all the fantastic imagery and graphics and all of that. And we're here in Misfit HQ. It's November 27th, 2023. I'm Big Bad Jon, Matt Chazzler here for the Misfit Monday Debrief. Stay safe, stay free, and stay caffeinated, Misfits.